So, good morning, everyone. This is Ghazal Luthra, mindset makeover specialist and a professional coach. And I welcome you once again today to this very exciting topic, the secret ingredient of staying positive and thinking positively, right? So, let's begin today's session by asking ourselves one interesting question. And that question is that what do you think why we can't stay positive all the time? Although we all know that if we remain positive all the time, then it could be really blissful, but that does not happen naturally. We have to really, be conscious or train ourselves to stay positive most of the time. So today, let's talk about why we cannot stay positive, and second, in the second phase, we're going to talk how we can think positively, right? And again, I am giving you a deep insight not only from the point of view of our mindset, but also from a point of view of our energy, the spirituality, or the kind of person you are. So it is going to be an amalgamation of two things. And remember, when the mindset is matched with spirituality, then the power becomes exponential. It reaches to a very optimum level, and you will see that your life will start changing at a supersonic speed. And that is why we call it is like taking a quantum leap, right? Okay. So first thing, as I asked, is that why we can't think positive all the time. Now there are basically multiple reasons, but the main two reasons that I want to emphasize today are, firstly, because we are genetically programmed to think negative. And I have been telling this and discussing this in most of my videos, because our mind is a primitive mind, and that mind is mostly inclined towards fear. Because as early man, those who were staying in the cave, they always had this fear or endangerment of their life. And that's the reason that our mind is programmed towards fear. And the second reason that we think negative is because we mostly think about our past. So in case we've gone through any experience which has not been very, very positive, very encouraging, everything is stored within our mind. And the moment we get another opportunity or a similar situation to reflect upon, instantly our mind picks up the reference from our past and gives us that information for us to act now. So just to give you an example, if you were a child and for instance you were asked to probably recite a poem in the class, or you were asked a question and you were not able to answer, and you realize that everybody made fun of you, or the teacher was not very polite or understanding towards your response, and you felt demeaned, you felt guilty, you felt underconfident, you felt sad, you felt insulted. Now that program is stored inside you. Now the moment you have going to face the same situation, does not matter, maybe after 15 years, 20 years, in your workplace, if you are in a meeting and somebody just take your name and ask you that what do you think about it, or what are your views about it, if you are carrying that past memory which has been stored in a form of a negative thinking, then your internal chemistry is going to change, isn't it? Many people say that I start sweating and my hands become very cold when I have to give a presentation. I'm very good at talking to people, but moment we are in a board meeting, or the moment when I have to present something, I lose my entire confidence. Now imagine that that incident happened so many years back, but can you understand the intensity of that one incident that has completely seeded inside you, and that emotion or that fear or that thinking is still continuing and is prevailing in most of your life situations, right? So whether it is going to face an interview or to apply for a new job, every time that it may be, that thinking is going to come subconsciously and say that who do you think you are? You're not even good enough. Remember how people made fun of you when you tried to do something different, or do you remember you failed few years back? All these kind of experiences surface again to give us fear. So these are basically two reasons: the past memories, and also the way our mind is programmed, right? Now if you are somebody who is living in the past, then you must remember one thing: the past was not there to define you. Whatever your past was, it was not there to define you. It was there to prepare you. लाइफ में सबके साथ में नेगेटिव सिचुएशंस होती हैं, ऐसी सिचुएशंस होती हैं जिसमें वी फील दैट यू नो वी आई हैव लॉस्ट इट, और आई एम अ लूजर, और प्रोबेबली आई कुड नॉट डू व्हाट आई वांटेड टू बिकॉज देयर वर सर्टेन इंसिडेंट्स that happened. But let me tell you, keep reminding yourself that those were just few incidents. They are not your identity. So don't make an identity out of few incidents. Your past was just to prepare you to become something bigger. So consciously you have to train and have a self-talk. Otherwise, you will be completely purged into these things wherein, you know, you will not be able to come out of it. And these things really have to be released from you so that you create a new space within you to think positive. Okay. So that's the reason most of the time people think negatively, and you know, we also say there are two types of people. First, people who can face stress because stress is part of our life, right? But there are people who can generate stress, right? So if you stay with certain people who will always and constantly think only about negative impacts of any situation, they are the people who are making stress first in their mind and then transmitting to other people. So they would never ever think positive in case of any situation. Even if when they are going out somewhere, or even when they are enjoying, they will say something, or they will talk about, you know, the weather is so bad, what if it rains and we all get stuck here, right, and we can't go out, or what if the COVID comes back, and what if once again people lose their job, and what if the economy goes down again. So there primarily the basis of conversation is mostly negative. And it's once you understand that why are they behaving that way, probably you will not be so upset with them, right? Because they are programmed in a certain manner. Their conditioning is done in such a way that they are more inclined towards negative thinking rather than positive. So that's one thing. So today we're going to talk about that one secret ingredient that I'm going to reveal to you, that what is that one secret ingredient. If you start using that consciously, then you are going to train your mind to think positive. So one thing is very clear, that you are not born as a positive thinker, okay? You have to train yourself. Now, when we are born, we all have very neutral energies. So it's nothing positive or negative. It is just the way it is. But as we grow in the environment, we pick up things, beliefs, behaviors, habits that make us decide whether how we are going to live a life which is primarily positively inclined or negative. Okay. So that's how it is going to be. So what is that one ingredient which I'm going to now reveal to you? But before I do that, I'm going to share a very beautiful story with you. Maybe you must have heard about or heard of this story. However, it still holds a very important part in my life, because that gives us something that most of the people miss out very easily in life. So this is a story about a king and a prince. And one day the king decides that I must take my son and show him around, probably outside the palace, that how poor this place is, you know, how people live in poverty and how lucky and blessed he is to live in abundance. So he takes his son to a village. They completely have a makeover, and they change their identity, and then they go to a village and ask people that if they can stay there for 2-3 days. And people happily agreed, and they started living there. They spent good about 3-4 days. And when the king realized that the prince has already had a great experience, he has probably seen everything, observed everything, they decide to return back. So on the way back, the king says that, did you see that how poorly these people live? You know, they do. What do you think about their life? So the prince looked at him and he said that, how are you saying that, you know, they live in a poor condition and they live in scarcity? I have a very different opinion. In fact, I feel that we are living in scarcity and they are living in abundance. And the king was really shocked to hear what his son was saying. So he asked him, how do you think and why do you say that? So the prince says that, did you see, we just have limited rooms probably, or place to stay, but they have such a big land where they can stay, you know, and they can put their bed anywhere and sleep. Now we have to eat whatever is cooked or whatever is said, whatever is available, right? So we have been given optional choices, but they have the fields and they have the foods and the trees and the fruits are hanging, and they are such free birds to go and pick up anything and eat whatever they want to. King was again really shocked, and the last thing he said was that we have to sleep under in one room, on a bed, but did you see how blessed they are that they sleep under the sky, and that has infinite stars, and every day it's a very beautiful presentation of stars, and it is such a great feeling to live in abundance. The king was so shocked to hear what his son had observed, because he had never ever anticipated that this is what the outcome would be. So what do you think? What was the difference between the king's understanding and the son's understanding? And there is one focal point that makes a difference, and that is the real secret of staying positive, thinking positive all the time. And that is one higher faculty, one higher power that has been given only to humans and not to any other species in this world. So in fact, there are 6 higher faculties as such, not one, but today I'm going to only talk about that one higher faculty, because that is the starting point from where you can learn how to think positively all the time. So by now you must have guessed it. It is called the perception. The perception makes all the difference. And what is perception? Perception is the way we think. The way we think about anything, right? The viewpoint. So the king had his own viewpoint and the prince had his own viewpoint, right? So firstly, when you understand this story, you might have realized that perception is different for every person. 6 plus 3 is also 9, and 5 plus 4 is also 9, isn't it? So it is not that your perception is always correct or my perception is always correct. Also, the way you are thinking till now is the only way of thinking. There could be different ways of thinking as well. So firstly, you need to let yourself expand in an awareness that there are different ways where you can start rethinking, start having a different viewpoint, okay? Because let me tell you one thing, until you don't change your perception, you are going to recycle your experiences. जब तक आप अपने सोचने का तरीका नहीं बदलेंगे, तब तक आपके लाइफ में सेम सिचुएशंस होती रहेंगी. और वो एक बहुत अच्छी कहावत है, एंड दैट इज दैट आपके नजर का तो इलाज है, पर आपके नजरिए का इलाज नहीं है, right? So you can definitely correct your eyesight, your vision by probably going through certain exercises or even through surgery, but there is no surgery to improve your perception. आपके नजरिए के लिए कोई इलाज नहीं है, उसका इलाज आपको खुद ढूंढना पड़ेगा, isn't it? So that is why perception is the secret ingredient if you wish to think positively. Okay, so only 5% in this people in this world are consciously using their perception, training their perception to think in a way that they stay and remain positive. Okay, because perception, it is just a power that we are blessed with, but we need to develop it. It's the same thing. We all have the ability to go to the gym, work out and build muscles, but it is only your effort and actions that you would be taking, going to the gym, working out every day, so that you can see the result and you have nice muscles and a lean body and a very strong and fit body with great stamina to do your work, isn't it? So this is one thing that we're going to talk about, the perception. Now अब आप ये सोच सकते हो कि perception आपका starting point है. आपका सवाल अब ये होगा कि गजल परसेप्शन तो ठीक है, बट परसेप्शन को चेंज कैसे करें, और मे बी आई फील दैट माई परसेप्शन इज करेक्ट. यस, ऑफ कोर्स. सी, there is nothing right or wrong in this world, okay? Whatever is right for me could be absolutely wrong for you, and whatever is wrong for you, I consider it right. And that is why the word viewpoint comes over, okay? So reality is something that nobody knows, but the reality that is best suited to you for your growth should be the reality that you should adopt to walk to. Okay, many people told me with their own perception that it is very difficult to change your career at this age and do what you want to do, because the market is going to be very tough on you and probably you will not scale heights or you will not get something. But I realized that that is their perception, that is their thinking. It is not my thinking, and no two people in this world are same. And this I am saying blatantly for parents also. Don't force your thinking and perception on your child. All right, you can just guide your child, you can just support your child, but don't think that the way I think is the right way. Let your child imagine, let your child grow and utilize and develop his own perception about things. So what if he fails 2-3 times? So what if he takes wrong decision? Nothing is going to help if you do not give the freedom to your child to choose and work on the muscle of perception. Okay, that's very important. And you must learn that perception is something that you have to work upon it. Okay, so people who tell you that you cannot do something, it is too late to change your job or get into your business or do anything or improve on your relationship, work on your health, they are basically admitting themselves that they have already quit. They have already quit, and that's the reason they are giving you such advice. Okay, and we have plethora of examples that state that people who have not listened to others and they have only worked upon themselves are the ones who have scaled exponential heights in their life. They don't even stay in this kind of living, or I would say in the same frequency where we are. They've gone so far that we can actually say, oh my god, he is there and probably we are there, right? It's something like, when you are going on a trail, एक कच्ची सड़क होती है और पूरी धूल से भरी होती है, और जब आप उस सड़क पे जाते हैं तो आपको लगता है कि आगे पूरी धूल धूल क्यों है, एंड यू आस्क समबडी दैट व्हाई द पाथ इज नॉट क्लियर, एंड समबडी सेज दैट 5 मिनट पहले देयर वाज अ car that went, right? Now that car cannot be seen anywhere, it is gone. But what is there? The dust is there. You can only see the dust, but you cannot see those people or that car because it has gone far ahead. It's the same thing with us. We cannot see the people who have already started in this journey. We can just see the dust which is there. We cannot ever see how far they have reached. They've already gone. All right. So that is one thing that we must understand, that perception is this one thing that we must start working on it. Okay, now the question is, how do I start working on it, isn't it? So let's now get into two ways of doing it. First, as I mentioned, I'm going to talk about the mindset where you can use your perception and train your perception to think positively most of the time. And secondly, I'm going to take deep dive into a spiritual way also, wherein you have to learn to think positively. Okay, so let me give you an example. All of you must have seen a switch. It is all like everywhere in our house, right? And the switch has an off and on indication, right? So off and on. If we consider this switch as our life button, okay, and the moment you turn off that button, the light turns off. Okay, and if I turn on, the light comes. There is lightness. Okay, same way, if you consider that this is your life button, life switch, and when it is on off, it is when you turn it off, the light goes off, and what turns on at that time when it is on off is fear, and on is love. So consider that your mind is either operating on fear or operating on mind. आप जिंदगी में कोई भी काम इसीलिए ही कर रहे हैं, either to get pleasure or to avoid pain. That I always say that. So what is good? Would you love to be in the fear state of frequency and vibration, or would you love to be in a state of happiness, growth, success, prosperity, abundance? And that is all connected to love. When you don't feel like getting up in the morning and say, oh my God, another date for my work, another day wherein I have to spend 6 to 8 hours sitting in front of laptop and doing something which I'm completely bored of. I really don't want to do because there's nothing new to learn. Too much of work pressure, stress. Do you think your switch is on love mode or fear mode? It is mostly on fear mode. You very well know that you can change your life, turn around your life, but you are not. Why? Because your perception towards that thing has not been developed. Your perception is not on love, your perception is on fear. Your perception is always telling you what you can't do, what you should not do. It is not telling you what you can do and what you should do. So most of your actions are based that if I don't do this, I might lose my job. If I don't do this, I might not get money. If I don't work harder, I might lose my clients. If I don't please everyone, then my relations will go for a toss. Everything is fear based because you have not trained your perception to think in a positive manner. So the first thing that you need to do is that you need to keep your switch on. Make it and put it at on mode and enjoy this beautiful light. Why do you want to sit in darkness and then assume that, oh my God, this darkness is so killing, it is so negative, it is so depressing. You have that switch in your hand. So first turn it on to love. And how are you going to do it? Now you're going to train your perception. The moment you have an awareness that your life is not going good in any area, you are going to ask yourself a very strong question, that this is what I want in life? If the answer is no, then the next question should be that what can I do right now, one small thing, to change my living condition or my thinking or my present situation. Okay, what is it that I can do? Now again, perception also plays a great role when you have to give response, or you have to react, or you have to talk to people, or you have to handle a lot of situations, right? Do not react to anything that is not going to matter to you after 4 months or 5 months, isn't it? So just train your perception to think that if my reaction is going to give that person more pain, then does it really worth it? Learn to be just quiet. Let me tell you, your silence can never ever be your weakness. Okay, so you don't have, that does not mean you have to take shit from people, but at the same time you don't have to be that, the button that people can press according to their wish, because most of the people know how to manipulate others. Okay, so turn that mode on wherein you are not available to act on people's thinking. Okay, so perception should be that, your perception should be that, is this behavior going to take me higher or it's going to put me down? Okay, is this behavior or is this action going to be focused towards my goal of what I want to achieve in life, the kind of person I want to become, or is this something that is going to put me further down? Whatever the answer is, act according to that. Change your perception. The changing your perception is the only secret ingredient that is going to make you think positively. It is not going to be easy, but it is not difficult too. Once you start doing it, you're going to question yourself. I'm giving you a very important and a deep secret today. Have you seen that there is a water filter, a lot of people say RO system or AquaGuard, which is fitted in most of our houses so that we get a clean filtered water to drink. It is the same kind of filter that you need to put in your mind. Do not give people the liberty to say anything and you to absorb anything that is coming. Okay, if somebody tells you something which is not productive, if somebody tells you that the coming times are going to be very bad, or the job scenario is going to be really difficult, or the money is not going to be earned properly, by people, there's too much of competition, or it is difficult to find good people, good relationships, or good company these days, everybody's so mean. All these things should not be taken directly. if you do not put a conscious filter inside, your mind is absorbing everything. So the moment that person says this to you, you have to tell yourself, hold on, let me think about it. And be the decision maker, whether you want to take everything inside or reject things. Okay, things that do not work for you, just reject them simply. We have been blessed with this ability to reject or accept. Okay, you cannot tell a dog to think in a particular manner. The dog will always and always obey what the master is saying. The dog has no ability to develop a perception or to accept or reject by using his thinking that if I reject this, then this would happen to me. All right, if I reject going out with my master, then probably I'll be treated for something better. No, that's not going to happen until and unless it's a pattern that has been established in the dog, and the dog now knows that if I do this behavior, this is going to be the reaction or the response of my master, right? So we have been always blessed with this great choice of accepting or rejecting, and perception is all about accepting and rejecting. Reject the things that you do not mean to take them inside because they are not meant for you. So many people told me also a lot of things, right? That all demeaning things happen, and especially when people don't tell you directly. Even if you are in a group and you are even listening to somebody who has probably reached a level, but he's talking about his journey, it is not necessary that his journey or his level of understanding or his experience are going to be best suited for you also. So learn to have your own understanding, learn to have your experiences, and that's only and only possible when you learn to train your perception. So perception is the starting point to think positively most of the time, and that is how you're going to build a stronger and a very, very foundational kind of a base for you, wherein you will not be easily affected or influenced by people. The moment somebody is going to talk trash to you, you're going to say that could be true for you, not for me, and that will be your inner talk, that I simply don't believe in it. Okay, so perception is something very important. Sit with you and see that which area is not working, and learn to question yourself that if this is the way I've been thinking so far and this has not given me what I want, then probably it's time for me to think in a different manner. And the moment you start questioning yourself, everything inside you starts shifting. It really starts shifting because it initiates a process, a new process, and that's give a new result to you. So this is how we are going to now work on our perception if you want to stay positive. Now let's come to the second part, and that is the spirituality part. And as I always say, spirituality is something just knowing your own self, your inner strength, your roadblocks, and the kind of person you are, and what kind of person you really want to be. So spirituality is not something that you need to change on who you are. Spirituality is not something that you need to change on who you are. Spirituality is something that you need to discard of who you are not. Okay, there are many beliefs that have been given to you, and they are no longer the truth that you are. Somebody must have told you that this is the best you can do, you are too late to do something, or you don't have the creativity, you don't have the resources, you don't have the skill, you don't have the intelligence enough to become what you want to become. Just discard everything. And how will you discard? When you self-connect with yourself, when you self-discover yourself. So that's another aspect, but they are so beautifully intertwined that when you work with your mindset, but then also with your heart set, and heart set is your spirituality. So I spoke about one thing called toxic positivity, right? Most of the people tell me that, Ghazal, how can positivity be toxic? Thinking positive is so good. Exactly, thinking positive is really, really good. But let's again take that example of that switch which has an on and off button, which has a fear and love kind of a button, right? And the moment it is on love, then there is a beautiful light around you, but the moment it is turned off, there is a darkness. But tell me that if you are perpetually putting that switch on love mode, even when when you press that button, you're realizing that it is becoming warm. You feel that there could be some problem in the circuit or in the electricity or in the connection, and probably it's time for you to give rest to that, to the button or to the light, whether it's a bulb or it's a tube light or any source of light. You need to give it a rest, but you're not doing it thinking that I am in love and I'm not going to do that. How long will that continue? There would be a time when that bulb is going to probably go burst, or it's going to get fused, or even that button can stop functioning. It will malfunction at the beginning, where you'll have to probably start pressing a little harder to ensure that there is light. But eventually what is going to happen, there will be darkness, because it will no more work for you. It is the similar situation. People who do not know the right process, how to work on themselves, and they just think that if I start writing affirmations and if I start doing things that, okay, I am positive, I am confident, I am happy, and that's the only solution. Sorry, this is not going to help you, because you know what, there is an indication already in the button, on the button, that something wrong is happening, but you are simply ignoring it. If there is an internal wound inside you and you are not taking care of it, it is going to get septic, and there will be some pus, or it might also make something out of it which is not going to be useful for your body. Okay, so all the diseases are made in this way when they are ignored, they are not treated properly. When it is in a physical form, it is very easy to see and treat, but when it is in an emotional form, it is very difficult. That is why it is said that it is very easy to heal the broken bones, but it is challenging to heal the broken heart, isn't it? And I love it so much. This is so beautiful. So what it is said is that whatever I don't heal, I deny. All of us have lots and lots of, I would say, negative beliefs, some past memories, painful things, experiences that we have put it inside. Okay, and we have consciously chosen not to get in touch with them and release them, thinking that just because they have been done in my life, they don't exist. And just because I know I can stay positive by saying certain positive things, or listening to more motivational speeches and having reading good quotes and books, I am going to stay positive. So no matter how well you are to look physically, but if you are emotionally broken inside, if that wound is internal, it is going to continue giving you the discomfort. It is going to continue giving you the problems. Okay, so till the time you don't heal that, you're not going to let the positivity completely sink into it and become the natural process within you. So it is important to feel the sadness, feel the feelings that are not positive. Don't get into toxic positivity by completely ignoring, shooing away your negative feelings and saying that I never talk about my negative things. That's a great thing. I was one of the person who would always be smiling. I still love to smile a lot, because it's not that I'm making an effort, that's me. Okay, so that's a very great thing when you're doing, because physiologically you are making a very strong difference, not only to yourself but to others who are connecting, because everybody loves to see a smiling face. But what I missed on at that time, just because I did not have awareness, was that I was not treating myself spiritually or energetically inside by releasing those painful memories or incidents or experience that I had somewhere inside, gathered them, buried them, and probably locked them. Okay, I was not the person who would let them experience to me and accept it that they are still a part of me, just by not thinking that the lion is in front of me. He's not going to go. If you are standing in a jungle and if you keep thinking that I'm going to think positive, that nothing going to happen to me, and you close your eyes, but a lion comes or a tiger comes, it is there, right? So closing your eyes to things will not solve the problem. So what I strongly encourage everybody is you need to take out some time to yourself. And what you need to do now is that whatever conditions you have gone through, any traumatic experience, any negative emotions, or anything that is not helping you, serving you, disempowering things, talks, events, anything that you have faced in your past, sit with them and give yourself a permission that I'm going to let go of them, but only when I heal them. Most of the people say, I have forgiven him. He's done too bad to me. I've forgiven him, but I'll never forget him, what he did to me. So you're not going to do anything good to yourself, right? You must have forgiven him, but till the time you have not forgotten or you have not healed yourself energetically, everything is stored inside you. Just a matter of time. The moment you are triggered to the similar situation, your every emotion is going to surface up and give you the same kind of pain that you experienced so many years back. So what are you going to do? Now I'm going to tell you the process. Firstly, you're going to sit with yourself and you're going to give yourself a command, a permission. And don't take these commandments lightly. You are the only being on this earth who, whatever says to your own self, your mind, your each and every cell takes it seriously, absorbs it. Okay, so if you are willing to give a command to yourself, your each and every cell is going to absorb it and start cooperating with you. So first thing you need to do is, if you have any significant kind of an experience which is unpleasant, bring that experience to your awareness, and then you're going to sit with your own self, close your eyes and give yourself a permission that I love to let go of this experience or the feelings associated with it, and I also choose to heal myself. So what am I doing? I am going to first embrace those feelings, because those feelings are my feelings. Does not matter whether they are good or bad or they are negative. They are my feelings. So I embrace my feelings. I am ready and willing to sit with my feelings, and then when these feelings have done their job, they've taught me a lesson, I command and give them a permission to leave my body and transmute forever. So be it. When you say that, you are going to start a process wherein you are going to start cleaning up your energetic system. And we are all 99.999% made up of energy, right? And remember, once you create space, then only new things come in. Till the time you continue holding on negative things, there is no space. Even if you keep saying that, okay, I want my life to be positive, but you have not given a chance to heal yourself. Sit with the grief. If there is some pain, some grief, sit with it, cry, and stay with it, and give it a permission then to go. That's the only permanent way to transmute or let go or prune anything that is not serving you anymore. Now this might take 1 hour for the feelings to emerge and leave. This might take 1 day, or this might even take 1 month. Okay, it all depends how deep seated your experience is. But as long as you're willing, as long as you know that once I do this process, it is going to be gone forever. Can you imagine? You will not be in this misery anymore. And that is what matters. So this is something known as avoiding toxic positivity. Okay. Don't think that if I say something positive all the time, I am going to be positive. Toxic positive come in the place when you are not working on yourself and let go of negative. Okay, even in a glass, if the glass has stale water, till the time you don't empty it, you can't put the fresh water in that stale water. If you keep adding the fresh water, do you think that the water is going to become potent enough for you to drink? No, it will still hold those some qualities which will make that water misfit to drink. Same way, learn to first empty your cup, empty the glass, and then fill it with the right in the pure water, the pure energy, the new beliefs, the new affirmations. And that is how you are going to completely align yourself to think in positive manner, in and out, day in and day out, today, tomorrow, and forever. Okay, so this is something that I would love to end my session with. And this is something which people say that मन में कुछ भर के जियोगे तो मन भर के जी नहीं पाओगे, right? So मन में जो भी कुछ है, you need to release it and then create a new space for new beautiful things to arrive in your life. So thank you so much for listening to this session. I'm certain this is going to help you to a very deeper level. In case you have any questions, you can surely write to me just below this video. This will be uploaded on YouTube also. And don't forget to follow me on my Instagram and also subscribe to my YouTube channel called Mindset Power Shots. You are going to get some very meaningful insights about mindset and spirituality there as well. God bless you and see you next week with another interesting topic. Bye-bye.